Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 1 of 2022, where the Astros win 3-1 over the Los Angeles Angels. Ladies and gentlemen, after a offseason full of trite and just wildness overall, we have finally made our triumphant return. Astros baseball, for regular season games that actually matter, is finally back. And they got it started with, imagine not having heart attacks in an Astros game, huh? Alright, the quick and simple of it, let's blast through it. First run scored by Alex Bregman, a single, an RBI single, and the Astros are on the board 1-0. A while after that, we get deep into the game. We get to the 7th inning, and the Angels bring in Ryan Tempura. And if you were a fan of the channel last year for the playoffs, you might remember that name from the White Sox series. Dear old Ryan Tempura thought it was a good idea after Game 3, where the White Sox actually beat the Astros, instead of patting his team on the back and celebrating the White Sox finally getting a win in the series to hopefully turn it around, instead he took the opportunity to throw darts at the Astros and call them out. Big brain move. Luckily for Mr. Ryan Tempura, Alex Bregman and Yordan Alvarez were more than happy to give him a lovely welcome to the AL West by hitting homers off of him. Bregman just squeaks one over the wall on the first pitch from him in an Angels uniform, and then Yordan walked up to the plate and said, "That's really cute," and nuked one to center field. Yes, they're both home runs. Yes, they both count the same. Bregman's expected batting average was 190 and Yordan's was 980. So, again, they count the same, but Yordan's was a moonshot, whereas Bregman's was a wall scraper. And I'm kind of stealing this little bit from the Astros Instagram and Twitter. I'm also just using it from watching the game and seeing our reactions to it. The Astros have kept every single receipt from everything everyone has said. And once again, this year, just like last year, the bill comes due. However, we head to our part of the 8th inning. Phil Maton is still pitching. He relieved Fromber in the 7th, but he goes into the 8th. And he gives up a triple to David Fletcher, and it's now 3-1. So the shutout is over at that point, and Phil Maton gets pulled. Now, I would like to say something about Phil Maton on this pitch. This was not Maton giving a meatball over the plate that David Fletcher crushed. This was a pitch that was way out of the zone that David Fletcher somehow went up and got a bat on. Obviously, it's very different because the setting is very important. This is the very first game of the season, whereas the other one was the very last game of the season. But if you guys remember back to Game 7 of 2019, the World Series against the Nationals, Will Harris comes in, and he throws a pitch to one Howie Kendrick, and Howie Kendrick homers on it. Now, obviously it's very different because that was a home run, this was a triple, and that was in Game 7 of the World Series. This is in the first game of a regular season that just started, so that's different. But people got mad at Will Harris, and it was sort of unfair because that was just an unlucky pitch. I mean, you look at where that was, it was just unlucky. I wasn't on Will Harris. I feel the same way about this. This is just an unlucky pitch for him to crush off a Maton. Granted, you can kind of say that the bill comes due because I believe it was Stassi who absolutely demolished one that would be a flyout. I want to say it was like 105 off the bat for Phil Maton, so it evens out. But then Hector Neris comes in, gets an out. Presley comes in the 9th. Allows a hit to start the 9th inning, but gets clean from there on 7 pitches to end the inning, and the Astros win Game 1 of the season. All right, who played well? Starting with pitching, Framber Valdez, a gem tonight. 6 2/3, 2 hits, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Man, oh man, was he great tonight. Not only that, only 2 hard hit balls. He looked great. The curveball from Framber looked to be a problem. He dominated against Trout and Ohtani, which was just spectacular to see. I want to say he struck out Ohtani twice and struck out Trout once. It was dominant from Framber Valdez, both against those guys who are the best of the best, not just for the Angels, but in Major League Baseball. And he looked great tonight. A wonderful game. I would have let him stay through the 7th, try to get him through 7 innings. But we pulled him after that and brought in Phil Maton. One interesting fact that was tweeted that I saw was, of all the pitchers that started today, Framber was the only starting pitcher, to get an out in the 7th inning among all starting pitchers who started today, which is crazy. Breeze through the relievers. I thought Phil Maton was mixed. I don't think he was that bad. At the same time, he still gave up the run, so whatever, what have you. Again, not mad at the pitch that the run came off of. Did let Stassi crush one off of him. Hector Neris got the out. Ohtani, boy, that was interesting, huh? The thing about that, there are statistics that don't lie, but there's also my heart and how it feels. And the statistics show that the Ohtani fly out off of Hector Neris to end that inning was not hit hard. It was, or not hit well, to be a home run. Expected batting average of .080. But, boy, I tell you, watching it in real time, I thought it was a tie game at that point. I really did. I thought that was gone. And Ryan Presley was okay in the ninth. He gave up a hard hit ball. I want to say that was to Rendon that hit it pretty deep. But overall, it was fine, the rest of the pitching staff. I thought Fromber just was magnificent this evening. Offensively, Michael Brantley with a pair of hits, not too shabby there. Uncle Mike, professional hitter. Altuve had a rough evening, going 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts and a bunt that was, a bunt. Alex Bregman, boy oh boy, he said he was going to have a revenge tour, and granted, it is one game of 162. But he looked good. He looked really good. Squaring up the ball well. Had a hard hit ball. I was feeling it with Alex Bregman tonight. Yordan Alvarez on the same ticket. Drew a walk in his first plate appearance, and I talked about it a lot in the stream. Boy, that was so encouraging from Yordan. Didn't walk that much last year. Had 50 walks all year last year. And to go down 0-2 in your first plate appearance of the season against a guy who was an all-star as a pitcher last year, and to work it back to get a walk, that is some really, really nice discipline from Yordan Alvarez there. He also absolutely demolished the one off of Ryan Tempura in the 8th inning. Chas McCormick also came through with a pair of doubles. He was just smoking the ball this evening. Boy, oh boy. Shazzy Fizz in center field. That was a very nice opening day performance by him. Jeremy Pena looked incredible defensively, right? First play of the night, Shohei Ohtani grounder up the middle, charges in, fields it on a hop, gorgeous throw over to Yuli. Great defensively. Had a few really nice defensive plays tonight. Had an error, but it was just sort of an error. It wasn't a bad error, if that makes sense. He still got the ball to Yuli, but his foot came off the bat by about yay much. But boy, oh boy, offensively, 2 strikeouts on 6 pitches to start your career is rough. But that was it for Game 1. We play again tomorrow, 9:40 Eastern Standard Time, 8:40 Central. We're putting out Jake Odorizzi. They're putting out Reed Detmers, and I'll be here afterwards to talk about it. So, thank you all so very much for watching the first recap video of the season. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.